Next up, we have Regen BioPharma, OTC RGBP. Harry, David, take it away.
All right. Well, we thank you, Ryan. I think today our goal is really to get through issues and questions pertaining to the reverse stock split and to discuss where we're going in the future. I'm hoping that we have ample time to address as many questions as we can. We want to keep this whole process above board. So with that, let me start out with on March 6th, we had announced that was the date for the reverse stock split to take place. There was some confusion about the stock symbols post-reverse. So you have RGBPD is the common, and RGBAD is the preferred. So if you're having a hard time finding it, that's the best way to locate those stocks, those particular classes of stock. And really getting into the next steps now that we're past the stock split, our first goal is going to be moving as quickly as we can up to the OTC QB. Now, part of the requirements for that is you have to trade over a penny for at least 30 days preceding. So we're really at a point where we've still got some time on the clock to address that issue, and then we'll have some other things to tick off the list beyond just addressing the time over a penny. I think the goal here is to take the first step in moving the company up, and ultimately, when we're ready, the ultimate goal is to get onto NASDAQ. The financing going forward, we're really anticipating that we're getting away from toxic convertible debt. I think that's been a sore issue with shareholders as well as management. It does create an abnormal amount of dilution in the company's stock if you're constantly doing convertible notes. Now, we've cleaned up most of those notes. I think there's somewhere around 350,000, and that's off the top of my head, in convertible notes that are still out there, but these are with people that have no interest in converting. They just want to be paid off. So near term, our goals are several-fold. One, we want to clean up the balance sheet some more, finish that off. We want to clear out any unneeded debt on the books to make the company as clean going forward as possible. We also want to move our research forward, and we would like to get to a point of being able to file an IND. Not really to get through clinical phase 1. Well, Harry, let me dump that in your lap for a second. Can you tell us what it takes to get through clinical phase 1
Yeah, sure. So for DCellVax, which is one of our sort of key programs, we are not far from resubmitting to the FDA. We've already submitted once to the FDA an IND. They came back with some additional experiments they would like us to do. So once we have the funds, we're able to do those. We can then refile, and I would expect an IND clearance shortly thereafter for DCellVax. And then for DuraCar, our other program, obviously that's an earlier stage, and it will take some time to move that forward either towards an IND or some type of preparedness for out license.
Okay, great. So the near-term funding that we're looking at is really for cleaning up the balance sheet and moving D-Cellvax through the IND process. And to get it through clinical phase 1, that is going to run approximately $4 million for the whole soup to nuts. So, and beyond that, we're obviously going to be looking towards raising more money to move some of our other intellectual property through the similar process. But the main thing first is getting D-Cellvax through the IND process and clinical phase 1 process. Now, once we've accomplished the near-term issues, and that we're looking at potentially raising between $250,000 on the low end to $5 million on the high end. I know that's a huge swing, but the goal here is to not cause a whole lot of dilution in the company. Having gone through this severe stock reversal, we would like to move things forward without having to entertain any more reverse stock splits. We do not want to take on convertible debt because, we're not looking to increase the level of dilution that the shareholders are going to have to deal with. Now, one thing that pops up is that in terms of why we did this reverse stock split, we have to get ourselves moving forward. I think the shareholders that are out there that like to trade stocks in the open market liked the previous cap structure, but it didn't do anything for the company. We need to start raising some cash to get through clinical phase 1, and I'll get through the IND and clinical phase 1, and then we're able to move things forward. So for me, and really long-term for the shareholders, doing this reverse stock split put the company in a position where it can move forward and raise capital and actually do the research that we need to do in a timely fashion. This probably is going to be the last presentation that we make on emerging growth for a while, because we're going to enter a quiet period where we're registering, doing a registration statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we can't do any sort of investor relations work. We can't hype the stock. We can't hype the company. We will be able to come out with 8Ks that detail any new developments that take place that are noteworthy for the shareholders. So I guess at this point, I would encourage everyone to get your questions out right now so that we can address them as they pop up. Ryan, do you have any questions from out there that you'd like to go through?
Sure, we can get going with that. All right. Greg Giordano asks, how soon can we expect the $5 million financing to be completed?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I'm not committed to doing it all, the $5 million all at once. With the company going through this reverse, right now it's been somewhat volatile, but it seems to be settling down. The stock is. The goal is not to just hammer a bunch of stock out into the market or have people that buy stock from the company hammer it out into the market. The goal is to methodically build the company up, move things forward, and not get ourselves into a position where we're doing highly dilutive activities, as we've done in the past with the convertible notes that we've undertaken. So I guess that's a vague answer, but I would say probably my goal is over like the next year to year and a half to have that raised.
Okay. Also from Greg, how much dilution should we expect from the $5 million financing? And he also wants to know, when can we expect the preclinical results from Duracar?
Well, the first part of that, I think we've kind of addressed. I don't want to see a lot of dilution out there. We have two classes of stock available to us. The majority of the issued and outstanding shares from the company is in the common. If I can do an offering in the Series A preferred, that would be zero dilution to the common shareholders, or vice versa. So we will see what's going on. I'm soft circling people at this point and entities that will participate in the offering. So I would expect that near-term dilution, not bad. Longer-term dilution, you're putting the company in a position where hopefully the price of the stock goes up and we don't have to sell that many shares.
All right.
On Cyogen portion, I'll let Harry address that.
Yeah, so actually we expect the early phase results. I was in contact with the CRO actually just today, where they think they'll have the results for us even tomorrow. But in any event, in the next few days, we'll have the first set of results. And as I said, then we can move forward to the next phase of the preclinical testing, which will take another, I think, 10 to 12 weeks. Then we'll have that next set of results.
Okay.
So while we're in the quiet period, the results we do have the ability to put out in the form of an 8K, even though we're not doing any sort of investor relations while we're in the quiet period. But we'll keep you apprised of anything meaningful that comes up.
Okay. All right, we're actually out of time. We'll do one more. Rob L. asks, tell us why we should be investors in the company if we aren't already, and why we should hold off if we are. Please give us a time frame of any future developments to support your answer.
Oh, wow. That's a big question to ask right at the end here.
Yeah. So that as I was reading it.
I guess the reason you want to be an investor, a shareholder in Regen, is that we're working in an area with a lot of intellectual property that we've filed, and some of which we've actually cleared with the U.S. Patent Office, so that we're a legit company trying to address a very important subject area, that being things like cancer. And we believe that we have a leg up on the competition in as much as we've chosen the NR2F6 small molecule to go after. And we've got things going on with the CAR-T. So we have some innovative ideas that we're working on, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our time for today. Get some good work done during the quiet period, and we're going to package all these questions up and send them to you so you can answer on your own time.
All right. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.